theoretically, I am assigned to this case.
Okay.
But we got a new boss here a little bit ago and kind of changed protocols on us. Because back in the day, I've been doing this a long time.
Sure.
We didn't look at this stuff. Yeah, me kind of called down and said, you're all good. And now he has us investigate it like on a back burner.
Sure.
So when you called, yeah, I knew the name and I had glanced over it.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for the ME to call me and say, hey, we're all done, death certificate signed, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay.
So I was a little surprised when he sent the phone. You had concerns about the hospital.
When I talked to the medical examiner last, well, I talked to him numerous times. The first couple times, they said there was a few issues as far as health-wise. She had like 5 things.
Mm-hmm.
Then they said they were waiting on toxicology.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said they sent out second samples or tissue, something, and then they stopped saying anything. And they said I had to contact you guys.
And that's when I got the boss.
Okay. And I'm going, I just want to know, because they kind of weren't sure. We didn't know if it was a suicide or if it was something medical. She was in the hospital shortly before. She's been sick for years. We really weren't sure, if this is something, because the doctors could never figure out what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was frustrating, and she had literally probably 10 boxes of medical documents.
Okay.
And, we just didn't know. And, I know what state she was in and where she was at, but I didn't. It's kind of frustrating because I was there all the time taking care of her. I'm the one who took her to the doctor. I'm the one who did everything. So the not knowing, and I wasn't there with her.
There is a medical
So
issue.
it bothers me because I go, could I have been there? Could I have helped? Could I have done something? That's my hardest part.
Mm-hmm.
I've never found anybody before, and it's not something I ever want to do again. So.
The medical examiner, they're very thorough.
Yeah.
I barely graduated high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're super smart. When they talk to me sometimes, I'm like, hey, you got to figure it out.
Well, that's when they were talking to me. I'm going, I don't know what that means. I'm sorry, I don't understand, So
at this point, they're waiting for their secondary, they call them confirming tests.
Yeah.
But there doesn't appear, there's no trauma to the body. Nothing like that. She had medical issues, which I think is pretty well documented with her medical record.
Well, I want to know, that's what I want to know, if it's in her head. If this has been 5 years worth in her head.
It's frustrating because the doctors could never find anything, And, they found little things, but not.
She just kept doing repeat checks.
For
years.
3 months. She'd have a bowl of soup once a week.
Yeah.
And she had such stomach issues, and she was just frustrated. And finally, the last time we went in, which was 4 days before she passed, that she got out, she was in for 2 weeks. And
where'd she go, Waukesha?
Pro Healthcare, Waukesha.
Waukesha Memorial there, right just up the road? Big hospital right up the road.
Was she in the clinic or the hospital?
No, she was admitted to the ER, and then they. But it was Pro Healthcare. It was right here, I think.
Oh, I thought it was Waukesha she was in.
This is Waukesha.
Yeah, Pro Healthcare is WMH.
Yeah, I know actually it's close to here because there was the same exit. So.
And you said in the lobby that you and Miss Hernan were friends?
Yeah, she's my best friend.
How long have you known her?
Over 30 years.
Went to high school together or something?
No.
We lived in
apartments.
Okay.
So she was like an aunt, a second mom to me. She didn't have kids.
So you've known her your whole life?
Yeah.
And that's why you were helping her out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're power of attorney and everything.
She switched her medical the last 6 months. My mom was in charge of everything. And she switched it because with her working and her hours, it was hard for her to get a hold of her.
Mm-hmm.
So my hours were different and I could help her. So she basically, towards the end, I was taking her to doctor appointments, picking up her prescriptions, doing everything. And she was supposed to get in-home health care from the hospital. That was the only way they were going to release her because they wanted her to go to inpatient. And she refused.
Okay. Was that coming then, home health care? Because the report says you were the caregiver.
Yeah. No, home health care, they were supposed to come that Tuesday or Monday. And I don't remember if it was Tuesday or Monday. But they were supposed to come. She pushed them back to Friday. And they actually called because they kept calling. And I finally answered the phone and said she's no longer because they were trying to come out. That was her condition upon her release. Was they wanted to make sure somebody was there with her. I was there with her. But she had to have in-home health care.
When you say you were given care and you got it, there was different levels of care,
I wasn't an RN by any.
That's what I was going to ask. You don't have training. You weren't.
She used to be.
You weren't given
actually,
injections.
No. I
would
basically would help her to the bathroom, do any errands she needed, make any if she needed. I mean, she never needed
her up when she needed to be cleaned up.
She right before the hospital, she had a few accidents, on the way to the bathroom, stuff like that. So I helped her around the house, but I didn't. She used to be an RN, and she was to the point where, because she knew Lynn did not want to go, she was debating and quitting her job to actually physically take care of her.
How long were you taking care of her?
It was just shortly, I would say. A little bit before she went into the hospital. I mean, I was out there pretty much every other day, but I wasn't like staying.
That was like doing her shopping.
Yeah, I would say a few months, but then like towards the end, I was back and forth twice a day.
Okay, so for the last, let's see,
I'd say 6 months.
Last 6 months.
Yeah.
You're out there every couple days.
Yeah.
And then the last few weeks, you're out there
pretty much
often,
daily. Yeah. Once, twice a day.
And you're helping her. Are you
Yeah.
administering the medication at all?
No.
She's taking care of her own pills.
Yeah.
But you're picking them up from the pharmacy. Which pharmacy were you going to?
Walgreens. It's right off of her main road. I'm not a Waukesha person, but it's the closest Walgreens to her.
In Pewaukee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they knew me very well. They knew her very well as well, but.
And what, did she have like express pay set up, or did you pay cash?
No, we used her card.
Used your card?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was she paying you to do this, or just a friend?
Yeah. No, well, I mean.
I have a friend and friend, but
yeah.
again, my father got real sick last year, passed away. And so I know where this stuff goes, and I was going there all the time. He knows, and it's real hard. And one of my coworkers said, well, you should be paying yourself to take care of your parents. I'm like, well, I can't take the kids.
No,
money.
She always, would offer here and there, and but it's hard too because when somebody she had no family, she had nobody.
No, I get you.
It was us, so. It's just it's hard.
So when you bought groceries and stuff, you were just using her credit card?
I mean, sometimes, obviously, that was coming from my house.
Where was she on disability then? Or
she was on Social Security or disability, one of them. Medicare, I got the form at the end of the year, but I don't know if it was Social Security or disability. It was one of them.
Okay.
I think it might have just been Social Security.
Okay.
But she's been on that for 5 years.
It's based on what I've read in our files, been our contacts with her over the years. She was like a hairdresser in a salon or something.
Yep.
She made a lot of money doing that, or? She didn't really have any family.
No.
Based on what I can tell.
She has one distant cousin.
She had, her parents passed away about
Her dad passed away a couple of years, and then her mom passed away, and she passed away, I think it was like a year, 2 years later. Was it 2?
I think about 2 years later.
Because I helped her move sell her mom's house. And
yeah, well, she doesn't have any family.
So.
I mean, well, she did, her aunt, but she passed away too a year ago. They were all from Madison. That's where she was originally from, so.
Yeah, because we couldn't really find anyone local.
I guess the medical examiner said there was a cousin or somebody called.
It's great aunts, so it's a distant second cousin.
I didn't know of them, so.
Okay. And you had power of attorney medically?
Yeah.
Did you have financial power of attorney?
No.
No.
No, yes, if need be, I think so. Or you did. I don't remember. I know I still have all the forms at home, so.
Okay. And what happened to her apartment and stuff?
We did an estate sale. Me and Anthony, the other family friend, just like us. His mom was her good friend.
Two of these two. The two younger ones.
But we emptied out.
Was Anthony your brother or cousin? Or?
No,
it was a family friend.
It's just like her. It was somebody she went to hair school with.
Another good friend, Crean, who I know has their son.
Yeah.
So these two are.
So
she's got the house up here and it's sold. So now.
Do you know Crean's last name? Do you have a number for her?
Yeah. I can't think of her last name offhand.
While you're looking for it, we just get some basic information because we kind of jumped the gun here.
Yeah.
It's Jessy.
Correct.
Middle initial?
R.
And your last name?
Kurczewski.
Thank you for spelling it for me without me asking.
No problem.
Your date of birth?
21884.
Address?
10562 West Cortez Circle, apartment 26, Franklin, Wisconsin, 53132.
Hold on.
sorry.
I'm cranking along as fast as I can.
Sorry.
What's the zip?
53132.
53132.
Correct.
And your phone?
414
Uh-huh.
514 1039.
And you work somewhere?
Yes.
Or what's that?
Well, actually, no. Sorry, I'm not there anymore. Smiles for Miles is my last position.
But you're unemployed now?
Yes.
Okay. And Kareen?
I can't think of her last name offhand. Oops, I'm calling her. It's 414
Uh-huh.
916 1010. I can't think of her last name.
No, I can't.
But she did friends like you a long time. Do you meet any
Yes.
apartments or
No.
No, she went
just
to.
knows.
just knows her?
She went. No, stop. She went to beauty school with her,
Okay.
and then her son is Anthony.
And why would she give the stuff to Anthony? Just because she needed somewhere to put her stuff, or?
She was going to leave everything to me, but she figured that, okay, if I died first,
Uh-huh.
then who's going to get it? So she left it to the two younger ones that she knows.
Okay. Do you know him at all or no?
We know each other, but not well.
His name was Anthony, is
Yes.
that? Do you have a number for him?
Yeah. We know each other more so
I know Korean, and I know
From-
Anthony, too.
Okay.
from all this. I mean, we've all kind of intertwined. His is.
Let me ask you this, while you're looking again. How are you doing? Because you seem a little upset on the phone.
It's just frustrating, the not knowing. That's what bothers me the most. Because I feel like, had I have been there, could I have done something? That's what I really, and it's just, Kareen calls me every week or so checking in. I spent 3-4 months cleaning up her condo, getting rid of things, and that was hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's frustrating because I feel like she was so close to us, and I feel like, if she would have just reached out maybe a little bit more, or...
No, she did. You just didn't know what was wrong with her.
I mean,
I didn't know if it's in her
feel free to
head.
chime in here, but you're taking her to the doctor. She was in the hospital 2 weeks prior to her passing. I mean, it's not like
You're talking, this is calls like throughout the night, during the day, it's all the time.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for
Before the
probably a
hospital,
good
she
5 years.
fell 3 times, and me and her neighbor tried to pick her up, which she was very heavy.
She's very tall.
She gained a lot of weight with her stomach issues, and I mean, we literally were fighting with her on the floor trying to get her up.
She's
And her neighbor's probably 10 years older than her.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, her neighbor was just shocked because she was so sick, and she sat there for probably 2-3 weeks before we got her to go into the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just frustrating because it's like, you need help. And she was frustrated because she kept going in. I mean, she ambulanced.
She'd go in, but then she'd turn around and leave.
Well, that's...
Does she have some psychological things going on?
Yeah.
I've never met her, so I
I
don't know.
looked into her records, which I don't know if you have access to, but...
The hospital
yeah,
has a lot of notes on her. She would go in, and they would release her right away.
I don't think they know what to do.
I don't know exactly what they would say, and half of what she said you couldn't believe, because she'd tell the doctor, I'm fine, I'm eating. And I'd call them outside and say, no, she's not. I mean, so it's hard, but she said that they all thought she was psychotic, and all these things listed on her medical records, that she saw a psychiatrist, she didn't, so I don't know if it was what she was saying or what they really thought, I don't know. That's what was frustrating is because she would tell you one thing, but it'd be different. So,
It'd be different when you talk to the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony's is 414
Mm-hmm.
916-1026.
And you know his last name either.
I do know both of them. They're the same. You know what? I can find out what. Give me 1 second.
Why are you looking? Why you said stomach issues? Is she have diarrhea or is she throwing up?
Both. But she saw a what is the stomach doctor?
She said gastrointestinal.
She saw somebody
check
probably
everything out.
3-4 years back, and ever since then they prescribed a ton of medications, changed her diet, and she never was the same after that.
Based on your observations, was she taking her medication properly? Because, I mean, they find her.
Yeah.
Obviously, you found her. There was stuff everywhere.
Pills everywhere.
No, the hospital, when she was there and they noticed, they put an actual camera in her room. She had me go to Walgreens and get her prescriptions because they weren't giving her regular meds. So she pulled off all her stuff. I went in one day and I'm like, why is there a camera in here? And they said, well, we're having some problems. She was never good with her medication. She was really big on her Xanax, was her big one. She never took it. She always was taking more of it than what she needed.
The doctors wanted to cancel her on.
Yeah, when she was in, they took her off of it.
These items that she would have already purchased when the doctor was giving them to her, so she'd stockpile on stuff.
Did she have doctor shop? They call doctor shop where we have multiple doctors prescribing the same stuff?
I don't know.
No, she didn't.
She'd do that.
Because as a matter of fact, the doctor she had
took her
off stuff and then said, I want you to see another doctor because I cannot prescribe these things for you anymore. So,
because people abuse Xanax.
Posa.
P-O-Z-A. That's mom and son?
They're both the same.
Are they local? I assume they're local for
they live in Big Bend, I think.
Okay. So they're in the metro area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Towards the end, she really wasn't. I would say probably the last 2 weeks, not that I know of, was she. Prior to that, yeah.
You're there twice a day and someone's hitting it, you know it. Yeah. I mean, because you're taking the trash out.
No, she had 3 bottles when she passed away still. So, as far as I know, no.
Okay.
Before that...
Because she was hospitalized for like 2 weeks and then she's out for like 4 days.
Yeah.
And then she passes.
Yeah.
So,
as far as I know, she was just drinking water.
And historically, based on my hospital experiences, they don't let you drink in the hospital.
No, but she drank in the morning, too. She drank whenever, prior to her being sick the last couple of weeks where she wasn't drinking anything. Because she couldn't eat. She couldn't get anything down.
And do you know why she's gaining weight if she's not eating?
Exactly.
We couldn't figure it out.
Is it water weight or something?
She was... I know when she first went in, she was very bloated.
Because I can tell you why I got it.
Well, she's a good eater.
She
loved to cook, but she was not eating.
Sure.
But when she went in the last time, though, they kept feeling her stomach because they said the same thing. And they took x-rays, and they just said she was extremely bloated, but they don't know from what.
Okay.
Because they would actually push on, and she was in excruciating pain.
The medical examiner gets access to all the medical records by statute. So, I mean, and again, I don't tell them, doctors, but, they tell me what happened.
Yeah.
Were you going there to see her at all, or not?
No, I hadn't been out there in a while to see her.
When was the last time you saw her, do you think?
I don't know.
I'd say maybe 2 months before.
2 months prior to her death?
Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you.
At least prior to her hospital stay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the only people that she really saw in the last month was me and the neighbor. The neighbor went to the hospital.
She didn't want nobody. She never wanted anybody out. If somebody said they were coming out, other than her or I, she would tell them.
Don't come?
No.
Is it June or Judy?
Next door.
Yeah. Jean. Sorry, I'm wrong. I don't know her last name, but I do.
I think it's in the report here.
Yeah.
Because she was there. They talked to her that day. Jean Tennell?
Yeah.
And she lives right next door?
Yeah, she lives right next door. Okay. Yeah, because she helped me and pick her up, I think, 2 days.
Do you have a number for Jean?
Yeah.
I mean, we have one, but I want to make sure sometimes.
Nope, that's fine.
There's nothing more frustrating. Our deputies sometimes get a little easy when it gets to phone numbers.
262-893-3483.
Was she helping her out too, besides you, or mostly just you?
She would help a little if I wasn't there. Lynn would call her, she called quite a few times if she needed something, or she fell, and if I couldn't get there quick enough, she would try calling her.
Mm-hmm.
So she would help, or if I knew I was going to be gone, and I knew she was having a bad day, I'd say, can you check in on her or stuff like that. So, and I know she came and visited her once or twice in the hospital, too.
Okay. Any other neighbors that she... No?
I mean, they all knew her, but she wasn't really close with a lot. She did have one guy friend that lived further over that would stop every so often, but he didn't even... She pretty much blew everybody off hospital at the end. A lot of people were upset because they'd call and they'd say, I'm stopping over. And she'd say, no, I don't want to see anybody. Or when she was in the hospital, I said, do you want me to call anybody? No, I don't want to she just
sometimes you're not feeling well, you don't want to see no one, you know.
She had paranoia. She'd never leave her house. That's why she'd do her shop, and even if she could shop, she wouldn't.
She just
She
wasn't.
got those certain times.
She was a very 5 years before this was, from when I was little to 5 years ago. She was a completely different person. Fun of the party, knew everybody, would bring hors d'oeuvres to the pool for everybody. I mean, she was just a completely different person. And after her parents died and she got sick, she kind of just withdrew from everybody and everything.
Can I get your name? Is it Jenny or Jennifer?
Jennifer.
And on the show?
M.
And last name?
Flower.
Date of birth?
12/26/1963.
Address?
Same as
The Cortez?
Yep.
You have a cell phone?
414-460-5792.
Anything else you want to tell me that you think's important? Even a small detail.
No, there's nothing I can.
I mean, the crime scene pictures, and I reviewed them before you came here. Obviously, it looks like she was trying to force down medication. The doctor will tell me if that's true or not.
Do I think it's a suicide? Yeah.
I
think she...
Because of her psychological issues?
Yeah, and I think when she went in the hospital, that was it for her. That was the last straw. If they couldn't find nothing, she was going to tell them whatever she wanted to get out of there. And I told her that. I said, she just wants to come home because she's going to do herself in.
She was just she was just tired of being sick. And she was frustrated because she wasn't getting the answers. I do know when she first went in, they said she had kidney. She thought she was going to have to go on dialysis. Within a day that improved, they said no. Then after her being there 5 days, they said she has C. diff. She was so excited thinking that was like all her problems. And then she realized that wasn't, they made her, I think, with what they told her and what she believed, she got excited thinking they finally figured out what's wrong.
She actually thought, she even had her water checked in her house when she bought the condo, the upstairs.
She had them checked for mold. She had a lot.
Yeah,
of stuff. She thought the apartment herself was making her sick, or the condo.
How long did she live there?
I think it was 4 years since her parents.
4 years?
I thought it was like 3, but...
Well, it's either 3 or 4.
How about 3 to 4? There we go.
I know I got the paperwork.
Is there an attorney that's handling the estate?
Yes. I had 2 friends, and they had set things they wanted. And those were the 2 people she said, I do not want them in my house when she passed.
Who's that?
What's Green Patterson?
If you think of it later, call me.
It's Kareen's brother and then Jim, her ex-boyfriend. And they both wanted the same things, and they were the things worth of some value.
What did they want?
She had a very expensive bracelet that she bought about a year before she died. It was a men's Merner link bracelet, and that was the first thing they both asked for. It was I've never seen people so sick over. I mean, I was like disgusted over what, they didn't say how did she die, when's the funeral, they didn't ask any of that. They asked when can I come to her house, or who's getting the bracelet. I want the bracelet. I mean, actually, Jim set his mom up to ask for the bracelet too, so that was 3 people, and she would never. I mean, it was sick.
How long was Jim the ex-boyfriend?
Over 30 years.
They were dated 30 years ago?
Yeah.
Not that long ago, but
yeah, it was.
I don't think it was. No,
they lived at the apartments. That's when I met her, and they broke up.
Maybe 20 years ago.
No.
She did a lot for him, a lot.
And that's hanging on 20 years.
Well, he's got a girlfriend too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay because he broke up 20 years ago. Right?
It's a weird.
Well,
I'm in cahoots with that guy right now. I've had some conversations with him.
Yeah.
I'm also aware of the fact that she has given him money for a down payment on his house and only paid him back like $300.
How much did she give him?
A lot.
When you say a lot, you have documents?
Yeah.
And he knows we know. Because those are my exact words to him.
He actually also has very good friends who work for this office.
Was he?
Yeah. His wife's a court reporter for Waukesha too. Girlfriend. Person.
Well, and
he
whoever
created a lot of
too is really not his.
He created a lot of
his name
problems.
is not anything, so why should he? It's not his business.
He was very determined to be in her house and get certain things. She had strict who gets what. We abided by it. But he...
Did he get anything?
Yeah, he did. He got way more than what, because I didn't have a problem with giving away her things.
Do you have an itemized list that you gave?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'll give you a card that has my email on it. You want to email me?
Yeah. I also have her itemized list, too.
Want to email me that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been an issue. We don't have any conversations with him anymore, but at the beginning he was a problem.
Did he have contact with her toward the end?
No.
He
Why?
tried when she was in the hospital, he
called when she was in the hospital.
Yeah, he called.
And he was mad that he wasn't informed.
We had a birthday gift to drop off for her, and I said, well, she's in the hospital right now, and her birthday was in June, so why are you calling now?
Yeah.
And she said, do not tell him I don't want him here, I don't want to see him.
She didn't like the way she looked, so she didn't want people around. Because she always was done up.
Oh, so good, and she's...
Yeah.
She didn't look so hot at the end, based on... You never look so good when you're dead.
No, and the brother is Crane's brother. I can't think of his name offhand.
When you think of it, send me an email.
Yeah. But the two of them, we had a dinner.
But you're pretty sure Jim's not around just at the end?
No.
Do you have a phone number for him?
He has.
Or do you know his last name?
I threw it out because I don't want to have any more
contact. Keller?
Yeah, just
I do have his number.
Kehler.
Kehler.
Because after she passed, he contacted me and said, well, I'm contacting the sheriffs. And I want to know when she was in the hospital and how long. And
he wanted dates and stuff, and it was like, okay, whatever.
I guess I don't have it in here. I thought I did.
If you find it, send it.
I have. I know I have it. I thought I had it in my phone. But him and we had a dinner afterward because she didn't want a funeral. She had strict instructions. So we had a dinner, and all of us know each other, but haven't really seen or talked to each other in years since she used to live on the lake. And, none of us are really close because we didn't really hang out together.
People.
But they were all at the
She's
dinner.
kind of the hub and you're all spokes of it.
Yeah. None of us really knew each other together,
So did Jim go to the dinner?
He did. Him and his girlfriend went, and,
Corrine and her husband and Corine's brother, Anthony, came. And she was pretty close with Corine's brother.
Yeah.
Okay. Was he there at all?
Yeah, he wasn't going to come.
No.
At the end.
He saw her maybe a month before, I think.
So basically it's just you there. The only person she's seen is you.
Yeah, me and the neighbor.
And the neighbor once in a while, but mostly it's just you.
Yeah.
All right. Let me grab your card. Do you have any questions?
No.
Once we hear from the IB, I'll let you know what's going on. But
do you know, out of curiosity?
They have up to a year. And they almost...
it's not like, it doesn't do anything. It's more so, I just wish I knew, It's more so to know if I could have done something had I been there. That's the hardest part.
We have a lot of vaccines.
I'd like to know if it's a suicide, but I'd still like to know what led up to her being sick for the last 5 years of her life.
Yeah.
Why?
Medical problems.
If it was in her head.
I'll ask the doc when it comes time.
Yeah.
But again, our medical exam, she may take up to a year on something. She does it quite a bit.
Yeah.
They're very thorough.
Well, and I'd rather at least, I was excited when they said, I'm not excited, but when they said, that they found something with their heart. They found 5 different things. And that at least was encouraging because I went...
A lot of times there's a lot of contributing factors.
Yeah.
And it's a combination of these things.
And that's what...
The body starts to shut down. So I'm going to go grab your card.
Lynn did not want to be here anymore. She knows that. She'll tell anybody that because she does honestly know that. She knows what Lynn was like for 20 plus years and what she was like at the end.
If you're struggling so much, why aren't you telling anyone what's going on? If you're struggling internally with Lynn trying to kill herself, taking this Visine, which is wrong, not normal.
Yeah.
Especially if she tries to drink a whole bottle in front of you, right? The gun thing, everything. But you don't seem to tell anyone what's going on.
No. Do you know what I did? I drank. I drank it away. That's what I did.
You got to. It seems odd that you don't ask your mother or Scott for some assistance. Not even assistance going there with you, but just, Scott, what should I do?
Mom did know some of it.
Scott, what should I do?
And my mom got to the point where she didn't want to be around it.
What do you think Scott would have said if you would have said, hey, Lynn's drinking Visine, what should I do?
He would have said, probably call the cops immediately.
Because Scott does the right thing.
Yeah.
Did you know that? That's the reason you didn't tell him. Because you knew it was wrong.
I knew it was wrong, but at the same sense, there's only so much you can do. And I just feel like I don't know. I didn't know what to do anymore.
You said earlier.
I love her to death, and I didn't want to watch her anymore being miserable, but I didn't want to let go of her at the same time. I went both ways.
Were you with her the night before the death?
Yeah.
Because you said earlier, about 6 minutes ago, that you knew she drank a bottle the night before.
Yeah. She drank, not a bottle, but she put it in her vodka. I did know that. I said that yesterday.
And then you go there the next day and she's fine.
Yeah. I mean, she was in and out, sleeping, awake. But
she said, yeah, I'll see you later, darling, or something.
When I left, she said, I'll see you later. She knew I was coming back.
And she didn't seem in distress?
No.
Medically?
Not any more than she ever did. No.
She's not having diarrhea, or she's not throwing up?
No.
She's not...
No.
He thinks you killed her for the money.
I swear to God, I did.
It tends to look like that on paper. And when we meet with the DA, he goes...
I'm telling you, honest to God, when I talked to you guys last night, I felt so much better.
I could tell.
Because I actually honestly told you guys, and I finally just gave up. And you weren't even in the room. I broke down with him.
Well, I watched it.
Because I couldn't handle it anymore. And I'm telling you, I did not give it to her to kill her. I did not put it in.
Why did you give it to her then?
I gave it to her because she seemed to think it was a good idea. She didn't think she was going to die from it, though. I don't think either, because she was doing it for too long. It wasn't making her, in that sense. I didn't think she was going to.
Did you give it to her that morning?
I swear to God, I didn't. I gave her water. That's all I gave her. And I said she always put it in. Swear to God, the 3 days that I was there before, when I threw out a bunch of Visine, that's when she put it in, water and
when was the last time you emptied the trash? 3 days prior.
Yeah.
And if she's disposing of, where would she throw her stuff out? Would she throw it out in the bathroom? You said there were bottles in the bathroom, right?
Yeah. No, she had a garbage can next to her and the one in the kitchen. And she would get up and walk to the kitchen. She was up in the kitchen up till 2 days before, because she physically was on her own in the kitchen. Because she would not dump the Visine in the stuff while I was there, ever. Ever.
But you knew she did it the day before.
No, I knew she did it because I found all the Visines. That was her thing. She mixed them. I knew
the night
she mixed
before.
them. No.
You said the night before you knew she put it in.
No, not the night before, though. She didn't put it in. She put it in when I threw out all the Visine bottles. When I threw out her garbage.
So it was 3 days prior?
Yes. Yep. And I said, where'd all the Visines go? And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. And I'm like, what do you mean don't worry about it? What'd you put them in? Because that's what she was doing for months. The only time she drank it straight from the bottle was the first time. The only time. And ever since then, she put it in her water or her vodka. She said the water didn't taste like anything, and the vodka, she liked it because she got like a little more of a buzz off of it.
Mm-hmm. And that morning, the night before, did she have vodka?
The night before she did.
How much did she have, you know?
It was a cup probably like this big. And she had
so
one in
a cup. I mean, you're a bar girl.
No, she had the smaller. She used the smaller cups for her vodka.
How many ounces do you think? Maybe 4 ounces?
It's probably like a cup about this size up to here.
So 10 ounces?
Sure.
And
she had 1.5 of those.
So she had 20 ounces of vodka?
Yep.
And when was the last time you saw her?
When I left that day.
What time? This is the night before we're talking, right?
I don't know for sure. I really
was it at 6 o'clock or 10 o'clock?
I don't want to say because I don't want to be wrong with my time.
I'm asking approximately, do you think? Dinner time?
I'm going to guess maybe 5 or 6.
So around dinner time?
Yeah.
The night before?
It might have been early. I mean, we were watching TV. Well, because you guys can look at my phone and know times. I don't want to lie about times when I honestly don't remember.
I got you.
I know I was there. We watched on TV.
What did you do the night before her death, remember?
That was what we did.
What did you looked at 5 or 6. You and Scott went out, you watched a movie, you went to the kids' softball game, something like that.
I don't.
Went to Chuck E. Cheese, I don't know.
Probably just at home. It was a Monday night, and Monday nights the bar is closed that we go to. So we were probably just home.
Was it a Monday night? I don't even know.
She died on Tuesday.
Okay.
I remember that plane is dead.
But you weren't there like at 10 o'clock news time?
No.
You'd be home before.
Yeah. I mean, I've been there late like that.
But the day before, you would remember if you were there at 10 o'clock, because you would have told the deputies, last time I saw her was at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Last night, I mean, because they usually ask you what the last 24 hours of when you saw her. And she drank 2 10 ounces.
1.5.
1.5, so 15 ounces of vodka then?
Yep. And when I left, I dumped it out, and she said, "Give me water." And usually I always brought her 2 waters that she put by her.
Okay. And the waters were sealed when you gave it to her?
As far as I mean...
You wouldn't know. Because when you pick up a bottle of water, you can tell it's been open.
Well, no. But the thing is that she knew I kept throwing them out on her. Because I was getting frustrated. Because every time I saw... Because I didn't even drink the bottles of water the last month. I didn't trust it. Because I knew what she was doing. And sometimes she'd say, "Oh, did you get that from the right or the left?" Or, and I'm like... So I didn't trust it.
Okay.
I usually went out there with my own sample.
You said you 3 days before, you threw out the trash or a bunch of Visine in it.
Yep. I threw out all her water bottles. There was
from
a
that
ton
time,
of Visine.
did you purchase any more Visine for her from that time to the time you found her dead?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
When I say Visine, what kind of Visine were you buying? Do you know, did she have a specific brand she liked?
Did. She liked a certain kind for her eyes, that she actually put in her eyes.
Okay. What kind did she like to drink?
She really didn't have a preference.
So what kind would you buy?
Whatever.
You just didn't usually buy the same one. That's kind of what people do historically. Yeah. You go to the same gas station, you order the same.
Whatever was cheap, to be honest. I didn't sit there and pick out, but her eyes, she liked it very expensive, and it was a good one for your eyes. Because I actually used it a few times when I had itchy eyes.
Because Visine comes in that weird bottle, it's kind of a weird shape. Is that what you were buying, do you think? Or are you buying off-brands?
Honestly, they were just whatever.
But what kind did she want? What was the kind she really liked for her eyes?
For the eyes, it was tear eyes, tree size, something tea eyes. It was like...
And what did the bottle look like?
$12.99. White bottle with blue on it. And I think it was like tea eyes or tree size or something.
Would she drink that one ever?
I don't know for sure on that. I don't think so. She really liked it for her eyes. But I don't know for sure.
Is she telling you what kind to buy for her drinking?
No. When I first did it, the first time I went, I bought all the regular. She said, "Can you get me some more eye drops for my eyes?" That was the first time I ever bought her eye drops. Or bought her multiple, more. And because she, on a regular basis, went through probably 6 boxes of the regular ones for her eyes. So the first time I went, they were all regular eye drops for her eyes. And that's the one where she undid it and literally squeezed it into her mouth. And that was the first one.
Did you ever see her use the $13 bottle stuff for her drinks?
Oh, no. I've never, except the first time she drank it, I've never seen her do it since.
But you're the one providing it. So you know what you're buying.
Yeah.
So you're buying the $13 bottles, and she's using that for her eyes, and then you're buying other kinds that you think she's ingesting.
Yeah. She honestly,
is she going through a lot of the $13 bottles, or is she going more through the little bottles?
More through the other ones. But I never, except for watching her drink it the one time, I never ever watched her do anything with it. One time she took it and put drops of it in her her glass of vodka, and that was the only 2 times that I saw her physically do anything. I would come back and the bottles would be empty.
But you know she's using it.
Yeah.
Because she's going through bottles and bottles. So getting back to my original question, three days before you throw it in the trash, a lot of bottles in the trash. How many bottles did you buy that last week, do you think?
Maybe 8 to 12.
Do you remember where you bought them?
Offhand, no. Because I just bought them wherever.
And you bought the cheap ones or the expensive ones?
Both. Because when she died, there was still 1 or 2 boxes in her bathroom of the good eye ones. And I think one was open. And I thought it was next to her, but maybe it was on the kitchen sink, or maybe it was, I don't know. The one she actually used for her eyes.
And you remember it being there when you found her dead?
No, I don't.
Okay, you don't. That's just clarifying.
I don't remember where, because I think he said that we didn't see it. I don't know where it was around her, or if it was in the. Sometimes some of the stuff was on the kitchen counter. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't. I'm being.
I get you. When I ask questions, it's because when you say something, it comes out a certain way because your brain, it's your life. So I want to make sure that we're clear that on the same page. So I'm not saying you're lying. I just want to make sure that you and I are 100% on the same page.